It's a nice spring afternoon leading up to a weekend. I thought I'd come out very briefly and have a little camp out in the woods and try and keep it simple this time. So I've got my half Lavvu and hope that that keeps me dry. And instead of having a campfire, I'm going to use the little portable wood burner that I've got. So set that up and cook on that. Just got a frying pan. Just try and keep it as simple as possible this time. Although saying that, my pack does feel quite heavy. Yeah, so that's it. Here we go. Oh, I'm out of condition. These spring days can go from one extreme to the next. It's probably only about 15 degrees, maybe something like that. But when the sun comes out, oh, you really can feel it. It's probably an age thing, I guess. You can see here where a deer has made a scrape and laid down. Probably a fallow deer, looking at the size of it. Very fresh, isn't it? Look at the colour of the soil, dark brown compared with the leaf litter surrounding it. There might be some slot marks, there's my hair there, look. Normally at this time of the year, the roebucks, which are smaller deer to fallow deer, will make a scrape like this, claw away with their hooves and leave scent from the scent glands they got between their cleats on the ground here. And very often on the adjoining tree, they'll fray the bark away, and again use the scent glands on the top of their head and above their eyes to kind of mark their scent on that tree. So as well as the tree, there'll be scent on the ground that another roebuck will be able to smell and think, oh, shouldn't be in here because this is somebody else's territory. But that's not what this is. This is basically a couch that a fallow deer is made to lie up in during the day. Not far away from where we just found that fallow deer couch, there's a bit of roe deer fraying, which is what I've just described. You can see the bark has been taken off this hemlock branch here, and there's just a tiny amount of scuffing here. It's not fallow bucks because they've shed their antlers this time of the year, so it's only roe and muntjac that are in hard antler at the moment. And yeah, both species have been marking out, the males have been marking out their territory, so yeah, you can see the fresh fraying on there. Well, I think I found my spot. We're on a bit of a slope here, so there's very little flat ground, but I think I found a little patch here that I should be able to lie on. Just need to take off some of these overhanging branches, and then we'll set the shelter up. There it is, half the Lavvu. I've suspended a string between the trees just to put the top loop through, and then I've gone down and put a central line in the middle there just to hold this pole up. I've also going to be using my DD hammock because there's so many bugs around, and also because there's a lot of fallow deer in this particular wood. There are ticks and stuff around, and also wood ants this time of the year, so I don't really want to be covered in insects, so hence the hammock on the ground. I'm airing my sleeping bag behind because I haven't used it for a while, just to get some loft back in it, so I'll pop that in there soon. And yeah, I need to start a fire. Before I do that, I should thank a work colleague of mine, Vaughan, pictured, and he's basically reprofiled my axe. It was really chunky on the end. He's now beveled it both sides and made it a bit finer, so I can now start using that again, which is great. Thanks very much, Vaughan. Right, I said I wasn't going to have an open fire, so I've got my little red camp collapsible, foldable, whatever you want to call it, wood stove. So I'm going to use that tonight, give it a jiggle. There we go. Of course, loads of bugs already, so I need to get this going, really get some smoke on the rise just to put the bugs off, I think, before we do anything else. There's not a lot of birch around here, so I'm going to start the fire with some paper. Take that, midges. What you can do is when you first start loading this, it doesn't matter whether stuff is hanging out the top or out the side or whatever. As soon as it gets going, obviously you can poke that through. The idea is to generate enough heat as you possibly can to start with, then you can close it down and feed it in from the side. Once you've generated enough heat in the middle there, then you can start putting the pots and pans or whatever on the top. Make myself a long overdue cup of tea. What I have realised, I've made a bit of a boo-boo again. I always forget my gloves. The thing I'm going to have difficulty with this obviously is anything that we put on there, whether it's my frying pan later on or the cup here, the handles are going to be very hot, so I'm going to have to improvise with I don't know, a pair of socks or something, or a stick. So while that's coming to the boil, let's have a bit of a look around. I need to forage something for dinner, and we'll have a general look at some of the flowers around here. So because we're in an ancient woodland, in a damp ancient woodland, there are plants associated with this that maybe you don't get in some of the drier woodlands. So this is a plant called lady's smock, or cuckoo flower. Only flowers during a brief period at the start of the spring. Can't really see the colour now because we're in evening light. This should be a very light pink colour. It's probably coming out white in here, but it's a lovely plant. The butterfly, the orange tip, lays its eggs on this, as well as things like hedge garlic, garlic mustard. But yeah, it's a very dainty, beautiful kind of woodland plant. That's growing here. What else can we see? Have a general look round. This plant here is called dog's mercury. Bit of a no-no, whatever you do, don't forage that. You'll be very ill. It's just starting to flower now. You can just see here, has tiny little kind of green, light green flowers that poke up eventually. That's dog's mercury. What we're looking for is wild garlic. I'm going to do an omelette later, so I'm looking for some wild garlic leaves to put in the omelette. This little plant here, it's only very small, it's probably about a finger's length, growing above the ground. It's called golden saxifrage. Again, it's another plant associated with damp areas or streams or bogs. You can see here just deer browsing on this fern. So basically, yeah, ferns are just starting to grow up now. They've been dormant over the winter, and a deer has come and snipped this off, as it has. This pendulous sedge. I don't actually like pendulous sedge because it's a very noisy plant when you're walking in a woodland. It rubs against your trousers and makes a noise. And yeah, if you get it's just a clump of it here, but I've got some woodlands where it grows everywhere, and it harbours ticks, and it's a nightmare walking through it. It's horrible. I don't actually like pendulous sedge. And then here's some wild garlic. As I said earlier, I pointed out dog's mercury. Here we've got a patch of wild garlic growing right in amongst the dog's mercury. So you can be very careful what you pick. So yeah, you've got to be very careful what you pick. Here is dog's mercury. It's got a serrated leaf, but the leaf that we want is just above it here, wild garlic. So it's slightly waxy, and if you crushed it with your fingers and rubbed your fingers, yeah, you can smell that garlic. These are the flowers that are also associated with wild garlic, and you can eat those like you can chive flowers from your garden. Got a very oniony taste. So what we're going to do is pick a few of these garlic leaves to put in our omelette. Not too many because it really is strong. Bingo! That's boiling away. What's that like? Too hot for me to touch. Rotten in the middle there. Right, let's get the bacon on. Go the onions. What I haven't figured out was how I was going to whisk up the eggs for the omelette. I've still got my tea in the cup there. The cup is the only kind of vestibule I've got with me, so this might turn into a bit of an enormous fried egg. We'll see. Supposed to be cutting down on my cholesterol, so having something fried like this is probably not the best of ideas. Right, let's pull that bacon apart a bit. Ow, 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 ow. What a right old greasy mess. Add the red bay leaves to the lemon mix. I don't really want to mess and twigs in there. There we go. Right. Crispy bacon. Let's get some more garlic. Smoky. Get the cheese. Get some cheddar in there. Oops, that was a bit of a should have done was come with a seat. Anyway, let's give this a go. Wild garlic omelette. Ooh, hot. Oh, I maybe should have put more garlic in. Very, very subtle. It's nice though. Mmm. That's good. Right, I'm going to do some washing up and then another cup of tea and a hot cross bun, I think. It's getting a bit dark now. Let's see if we can crank up the old candle lantern. I've not used this for donkey's years. Remember we used to take this around the world, camping, Norway, New Zealand. Yeah, these were always really good. Right, I've got my tea on the brew. What I'm going to do now is toast a hot cross bun. Oh, that's hot. About 8:45, so yeah, it's going to be dark in about 20 minutes I would think. So I'll have a cup of tea, maybe then a hot chocolate, put some more branches in the fire, just sit and watch the fire for a bit I think, and then go to bed. It's been good, nice and simple. Maybe wish I brought a seat with me, then I could actually sit down rather than sort of squat all the time. Luckily it's not all that damp, so my bum's not getting too uncomfortable sat on these sticks. But yeah, I've not used this for a long time, and other than the fact that you've got to keep stoking it and putting more twigs on it to keep it going, it's really good. Very little ash around the area that I cleared, so yeah, quite a contained way of having a fire, and having the ability to cook on it as well is obviously really handy. But once you get the more twigs in there, you have to sort of sit back because it really does kick off the heat, and it is like having a controlled open fire. So yeah, good stuff, definitely use it again. I like this time of the day, that kind of quiet period before it gets dark. You've got all the things like the song thrushes still singing, and then every now and again there'll be an odd tawny owl. Right, it is 10 to 10 and bedtime, so I've packed everything away. Already found a dirty great brown slug trying to crawl down onto the frying pan, so I've put the food bags up in a tree in case the foxes get to them and the slugs. Yeah, and we'll just have to see in the morning whether the slugs are being kept at bay. Anyway, night. Morning, it's 7:30 roundabouts. Didn't rain in the night. Slept really comfortably. Woke up a couple of times because there's a slight, very slight draft that comes through, obviously because I'm enclosed one side and not the other. So this is the first time I've used it like this. Yeah, it's a nice little setup. Obviously having the a hammock on the floor like this and having the mosquito net tied up above your head gives you a bit of room like this, so it's sort of not sunken on your face. But yeah, definitely do that again. So now I'm just going to kind of crawl out, gather some firewood and make a cup of tea and cook some breakfast. Again, I'm having to start this with loo roll because I haven't got any birch bark. Need to get this going because I can feel the rain is now here. It's just starting to come down, so it's quite important that I get this going now, and then I'll start taking, put my sleeping bags and stuff away. And then it clears out the inside of that for me to shelter in if the rain gets a bit heavier. Got to be quite careful when you load this to start with that you don't block up all the air holes or whatever. It's good just to get all that heat coming in, the air in, then it will get going and then you can put the bigger sticks on. The nice thing about this twig stove is the fact that all you need is little branches like this, about finger size really, and so really you don't need your knife or your saw. You just need to be able to find really dead twigs that are off the ground and sort of air dried, and then that's all you've got to do to prepare your firewood, so it's brilliant. Right, the mug seems to have survived the ravages of the big brown slugs overnight. I haven't checked everything else as yet, but put the tea on first and clear the tent out. There we go. Water's done. Let's make some tea. It's going to be a double bagger. Right, need to knock that off. And then we'll build up the heat again to put the pan on. Right, time to introduce the egg. See if I can burn that as well. Oh, I can't see a thing of this smoke. Oh, I didn't do that very well, did I? Never mind, it all goes down the same way. Whew. Well, I don't think Gordon Ramsay would be very pleased with the way I've cooked my fried egg. But at least it's edible. Just. I don't know whether you can hear it, but it's raining now. Lucky I'm under a bit of this hemlock. So yeah, the rain was due to come, possibly last night, but it's been delayed, so I won't have a lot of wet kit to pack away. So yeah, this is great. I'm going to finish my breakfast, have my cup of tea, pack up and then get home. Coronation day today. Watch a bit of that. Right, that's nice and cold. It's obviously raining as well. There's no risk of that catching anywhere else. Yep, good to go. Obviously, there's been an element of trampling on this dog's mercury, but that may spring back up. But other than that, there shouldn't be a trace of me being here, which is what I want.